Hey guys, the Xcon here. Welcome to episode 38 of the Xcon Star Wars show. So yeah, this week we have some pretty big fucking news. The review segment is back, and yeah, um, the news. I'll be getting that to the second, but first we need to jump into the new releases for the week, and there are two new comics and a new episode of a TV show. Comics are Dr. Aphra, issue 26, which will come out November 14th, 2018. The next comic is Darth Vader, Dark Lord of the Sith, issue 23, Fortress Vader Part 5, which comes out November 14th, 2018. After that, we'll only have two issues left of Dark Lord of the Sith Vader comic, unfortunately. And then, Star Wars Resistance Episode 3, Sonara's score comes out. So yeah. I've been watching Resistance, so I've been enjoying it so far. The episode what came out yesterday, I haven't watched yet because I'm recording this at a time where it just hasn't been released yet. But that will come out on November 18th. And the comics are Wednesday, and Resistance is Sunday. But let's get into the news. There's one news story this week, and that is that there will be a new live-action TV series based around Cassian Andor before Rogue One. So yeah, it was announced during a Disney shareholder call or something, which last year at in November for that one Disney shareholder call thingy was when they announced the Mandalorian. Obviously at the time it just was a live action TV show, and the Rian Johnson's upcoming trilogy of movies. But anyways, on StarWars.com, it said Disney Chairman and CEO Bob Iger announced that Lucasfilm is in development of a second Star Wars live-action series for Disney Plus, which will now be the name for the streaming service. The Mandalorian, Clone Wars Season 7, and this show will all be on. It goes on to say the company's new direct-to-consumer streaming service, which I just said. It says the series, which will go into production next year, follows the adventures of rebel spy Cassian Andor during the formative years of the rebellion and prior to the events of Rogue One, a Star Wars story. Diego Luna will reprise the role of Andor, and he said, "Going back to the Star Wars universe is very special for me," said Luna. "I have so many memories of the great work we did together and the relationship I made through the journey. We have a fantastic adventure ahead of us, and this new exciting format will give us the chance to explore this character more deeply." That's what Diego Luna said, and then an article goes on to say the rousing spy thriller will explore tales filled with espionage and daring missions to restore hope to the galaxy in the grip of the ruthless empire. And then it says a release date for the series has not yet been announced, which I would assume would probably be 2020, probably a year after The Mandalorian, which they also announced in that call a TV show for Marvel, a Loki show, which I talked about that in last Thursday on the Superhero Cinematic Universe show, which is a superhero news show which you can watch. Which didn't give much information on that, but so yeah. So I guess they're gonna be going down that route with the TV series. The Mandalorian I mean, assume it's just gonna be a one and done kind of thing. Maybe probably not going them too many more seasons. Making this Cassian Andor show be a one and done on one season. Uh, anywhere between like 6 to 10 episodes probably. And just explore the character, which is exactly what I want with that kind of stuff. Uh, you know, in like a Boba Fett or Obi-Wan, movie I'm not really interested in, but a TV show or even Vader or any of those other bigger characters, I'd rather them have a TV show. Obviously, makes sense for them to just do a movie because they're bigger characters and they'll make more money. So makes sense. But me, I'd much rather have them in this TV show style. So yeah, and this Cassian Andor TV series. One thing with Rogue One for me, which really, honestly, I liked Rogue One, but was something there, like the characters, I just really did not care for them at all. And spoiler alert for Rogue One, if you have not seen the movie yet. About to reveal big spoiler alert. So Cassian Andor, dies in the movie, and all the other characters die in the movie, or at least the main ones. And, when they're dying, I'm just like, who cares? Like, the only one I really felt any kind of care was when, I'd say, K2SO and, what was his name, Shirut, or whatever his name was, also can't remember the actor. It was Shirut, fuck, what's the actor's name? He's not like some small actor, Bonnie Yen? Yeah, I can't remember his name right now. I think it's then, I don't know, but, those are the only ones I really can't, actually, like, oh man, that sucks. The rest of them was like, well, whatever. And obviously, K2SO and Sharut were side characters, where Cassian Andor and Jyn Erso were the main characters. I really gave zero shits for them. But maybe this TV series will change my mind on Cassian Andor, which, the only other thing in canon with, really has story with the minute is a one-shot comic, and that was, with him meeting K2SO, and it was pretty meh. Other than that, there really isn't anything with his character in it. It didn't do a novel form or anything. So, I am interested in this series. Didn't know if we get like really any new information with it super soon. I'll probably say it'll come out, 2020. Mandalorian comes out, I believe, fall of next year. I'd probably say this show will come out fall 2020. And then, they'll do a new one for a different character every year. Or, it might be actually starting up production a lot sooner than that and actually come out, early to mid 2020. But, I probably say it's definitely 2020. So yeah, that's really it for the news. Wasn't really much else. I don't think. Probably was, I don't know, maybe something. Yeah, there's anything else. But, yeah, anyways, the review. Wow, it's back. Unbelievable. Last time it was here was, I actually don't remember. But this one, this week, Solo Star Wars Story came out on Blu-ray about 2 months ago, and I finally bought it. And obviously I watched the movie. Probably already did the review for it. Even though I saw the movie in theaters, I just didn't do the review because I was lazy, and now I'm finally getting the review out so many months later. Um, like 6 months later. But, yeah, so the special features, there are some deleted scenes and some behind the scenes stuff. But I'll start with the deleted scenes. There was 8 deleted scenes. A few of them are just like, you know, extended versions of some scenes, but and whatnot. But yeah. Anyways, the first deleted scene, Proxima's Den. Um, this, just it, it's really not a deleted scene. Well, it is a deleted scene, but it seems like a completely scrapped scene. They end up doing a different version of it. And because in the movie it's a lot different. But the scene kind of plays out kind of like it does in the actual movie. Um, so this one it's not better than what's actually in the movie, and it's really not worse than what's in the movie, but I really don't care. And Corellian foot chase. The next scene, I believe this is in between the scene where Han and Kira crash the speeder, and then they enter the or the place is called the place go through the fucking gate and whatnot to leave Corellia. I forget what it was called, but yeah, they hide in a little container with some I believe bad smelling things in it, and getting away from the people chasing them. And then yeah, it wasn't good, but yeah. And then the next one is Han Solo Imperial Cadet, which this is in between the scene where Han enlists into the military and into the Empire, and then the Mimban, uh, 3-year jump skip. This one was alright, but it would kind of be a bit out of place, I guess, and then they'd probably have to explore more of his time in the Empire, and so and obviously in the movie, when he enlists in the Empire, and the guy, the Imperial, dude there says, after Han says, when he'll be flying, he says he'll be flying soon enough, and then it cuts to Han, flying in the air because of an explosion. The scene also does that because um, like, he doesn't follow orders, so then, the Imperial dude, then demotes him, and then, Han asks when he'll be flying again, and he says he'll be flying in no time, and then it cut to that scene. So yeah, obviously we will be getting some of his time in the Empire. In the comic book, which has the same exact name as the lead scene, um, Han Solo Imperial Cadet, which the first issue came out last week. I did not read the issue yet, but definitely interested in that comic. But yeah, I like this scene, which we also saw the weird looking Star Destroyer. I believe it was inspired from early concept art. Weird looking one. Yeah, it's based off of the concept art from, I believe, Ralph McQuarrie, most likely. We do see that in there, and I believe we see Tag and Bink. I believe they're in the background, but yeah. Anyways, I like that scene. Bit of a spoiler, but it's probably the one I like the most. And then the Battle of Mimban extended. So yeah, it's right after the scene when Han, sees Beckett for the first time and talks to him. And then I believe Beckett yells "charge" in the movie, and then after he yells "charge" and it cuts in the movie, it just extends that part of the um movie. And in the scene, the big dude with the big gun, uh, is part of Beckett's crew dies in the scene. So so that's really all it adds. You know, not much. And then the next scene is Han versus Chewie extended. Um, it just drags the fight between Han and Chewie for in the pit for way too long. Obviously in the movie, I do feel like the scene was a bit short. Um, could have added an extra minute from this scene, but obviously definitely not as long as his extended one. It was about 6 or 7 minutes, and I was definitely getting bored watching it. It kind of reminded me of the Last Jedi. They had the in the deleted scenes, they had the extended version of the Father Air chase scene, which that just started getting boring watching the deleted scene because it was like 7 fucking minutes long. So yeah, and then a snowball fight. It gives a good laugh, but yeah, it seems more like a blooper than a actual scene in a movie. Um, so yeah, it obviously it makes sense why it's deleted because it feel very out of place, and yeah, it definitely wasn't good in that sense. Um, so yeah, and then there's Meat Dried extended. I'm trying to remember what was like added in this one. I believe Dried Voss gives them like some food, and that's really kind of it. Doesn't really add much. And then Coaxium Double Cross. It's just kind of quick scene. Um, with Han coming up with an idea to double cross Drine with the Coaxium. And it's really just a scene of him asking for an extra container. That's all he says. And then he looks up and then he sees Dr. Ryan's ship coming. And that's it with the lead scenes. Overall, they were all very men. They're kind of just bad. Obviously, that's why I expect out the lead scenes. I expect the scenes to be bad. They're deleted for a reason, or just because it was too long, just like the extended scenes, and they really didn't add much. But yeah. The only one I really liked was the Imperial Cadet one, and it makes sense why that was deleted. But yeah, and so that's it for the deleted scenes. Now it's some of the making of stuff. There was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 like making of thingies. And the first one is Solo, the director and cast roundtable. It's about 20 minutes of Ron Howard and the cast talking about some behind the scenes stuff, their characters, and some other stories and from making the movie. So yeah, obviously it's the kind of stuff you find in, like interviews. So it was okay. And then there's a Kasdan on Kasdan, which was Lawrence and John Kasdan talking about working together and you know other stuff and whatnot. But just really how they worked on, wrote the movie together and whatnot. It doesn't go that deep into it. And then there's remaking the Millennium Falcon. Talks about how they came up with the design for the Falcon and Solo. They didn't go that deep into it though. Then there's Escape from Corellia. Talks about how they made the speeder chase scene, and how they mixed and matched it with practical and CGI. Obviously the speeder when Han was in, and then the speeder when guy in Corellia, I can't remember his name. He has a name, and I know the name, but I can't remember it right now. The speeders, those were practical, which I found that neat. But yeah, that one was interesting. And then there's one on the train heist, which talks about all the stuff that went into making the train heist scene. I want to say this was probably the longest one. I think it was. Could be wrong though. But I like this one a good bit. Probably the one the deepest into how they came up with the idea and whatnot. So yeah, I like that one a good bit. And then there was Team Chewie, which talks about Chewie and Han's relationship and and all the work behind the scenes work what goes into a character like Chewie and whatnot, and also how important Jonas his last name Sutamo or whatever his last name is um plays Chewie, how actually important he is to bring the character to life. But yeah, I like that one. And then Becoming a Droid, L337, talks about how they brought L337 to life and whatnot, and how much of it's, really actually the actress doing the character, because it is a mix and match of practical and CG, which, it's like a mix between like C3PO and K2SO, or K2SO is pretty much just, all, by obviously in the movie it was just all CG, and then, with C3PO it's all practical, and L337 was half practical and half CG. So yeah, and then the next one was Scoundrels, Droids, Creatures, and Cards. Welcome to Fort Yipso. It talks about how they brought Fort Yipso to life and whatnot, and like the entire fort is all practical. Um, you know, Obviously it makes sense why, because it's not that big of an area. It's kind of like the Falcon, and then how they did the lighting in there and whatnot, and also kind of talk about the rules of Sabak, and also just Sabak match and whatnot. So yeah, that one was, I like that one. And then the final one is Into the Maelstrom, the Kessel Run, which talks about how they made the Kessel Run and whatnot. Some of the ideas that went into it and whatnot. Like the big monster tentacle dude. So yeah, I like that one. But overall, I thought the behind the scenes stuff was okay. Uh, it did kinda feel like there was a full behind the scenes making of, documentary, but just scattered into a bunch of little videos and just not stitched together and not having all the stuff, like there really wasn't anything on Mimban. They kind of did talk about the fight scene between Chewie and Han in the director and cast roundtable video, and I believe in the Team Chewie one. I'm gonna go too much into that. And pretty much everything else in Mimban. One I was kind of hoping for that they was talking about was John Voss and his little ship and whatnot, and definitely his like room and whatnot. And obviously some other things. Never really talking about Enfy's Nest at all. We didn't talk much about the characters other than Chewie and L337. So yeah, I wish there was more, but obviously they didn't want anything with Phil or Chris Miller in there, and some of that stuff was possibly during a time when they were working on it. So yeah, it's definitely not the worst special features for at least the Disney Star Wars films, but it's definitely not the best. The best I would definitely say is The Last Jedi. um, which, had the full behind the scenes making of documentaries, deleted scenes, director's commentary, and some other behind the scenes stuff. Which some of that stuff, Solo lacks. But at least it's not as bad as Rogue One, which was definitely the worst. Which, really only had a behind the scenes making of, which was okay. But, I found the behind the scenes stuff in for Solo to be okay. Obviously if you're into the behind the scenes, stuff, and you do enjoy it, you'll probably like this, but, don't expect it to get really deep at all. It really doesn't get that deep in any of the stuff, but, yeah. Anyways, that's it for all the special features. So yeah. But, that's also it for the Xcon Star Wars show, episode 38. Next week, I don't know. Maybe next week no, I'm doubtful. Maybe the comics. I don't know. I'm doubtful that the comics will be out by then. Maybe, maybe not. But yeah. But other than that, I've been the Xcon, and I will see you guys in the next one. I don't know why I did the outro so weird.